defensive Dinwiddie in front, a three for the lead. Bullseye! Another one! Maxey's been a flamethrower in the fourth quarter. Pound O'Neal. There! They get the ball in. Finney-Smith with a three. Rebound Harris.
Gerard at the point. Lehkonen on net. Grubauer makes the save. Rebound. Score! Taves! The go-ahead goal for the Avalanche.
This first week of playoffs. What a time to be alive. The Avs go-ahead goal late. The Sixers pull ahead late. This is interesting to see. Daily Sports Podcast, News Narratives Takes Gambling. Those Colorado jerseys are sick. With the C from the flag, they're so filthy. Oh my God, they're cool. The Kraken were leading the series 2-0, or 1-0, excuse me. They were leading the game 2-0. Colorado completes the 2-goal comeback to even the series at 1 game apiece. The Philadelphia 76ers found themselves in a bit of a mess last night. Let's go to that. James Harden got ejected. Let's find out why he got ejected from this game.
Nick Booker calling for the signal for a replay here.
Did he hit him in the balls?
Here. We'll see it from here.
Here he goes, James Harden.
Oh, yes.
Looks like he elbowed the dude right in the nuts. But everybody's debating, like, was that enough to get ejected? We don't know. Embiid almost got ejected, then he didn't get ejected, and then who was the other guy? Claxton got ejected for taunting Embiid. It was a mess in Brooklyn. Sixers fans are calling for NBA rigged, but it doesn't matter because Tyrese Maxey takes over after James Harden goes down. And Maxey is not a dependable star, but when he is a star, he's a star. He just gets hot, and he's great. And Kentucky probably should have won a national championship when they had that kid on their roster, but they didn't. They didn't do that. Yeah, late-round draft pick for them. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Golden State Warriors were not going to be swept by the Kings, obviously. Also, are they awake now? It's you're never in trouble in a 7-game series, you're never in trouble till you lose at home. Warriors win 114-97. They're so experienced, man. They're not going to go down like this. 36 points with Steph Curry. Dude. 20 rebounds for Kevin Looney. Oh, Looney, that's right. No double-doubles on this squad, though. That's for sure. Draymond Green's got a 3-game suspension, so that means he should be, what, 1 more game? Is it 3 games? I think it's 3 games, right? So he should be back next time. I think so. The NHL playoffs so far there's been a lot of storylines and a lot of messes. There have also been a lot of ass whippings. Last night in Newark, the Devils they had the biggest turnaround in the history of hockey from one season to another in the playoffs, but none of these guys have played playoff hockey before, and playoff hockey, more than playoff basketball, is a completely different sport. That's why you get these weird 6, 7, 8 seeds that win the Stanley Cup, is because what it takes to win in the playoffs is different than what it takes to win in the regular season. If you're only good in the playoffs, you won't make the playoffs. But if you're only good in the regular season, you won't win the Stanley Cup. You have to, in some way, be both. The Devils have never, I'm sure that they have players that have experienced it, but they've never, as a team, the majority of the guys, the core unit, has never experienced playoff hockey, and now they're playing a team that they can see the other team's city from their building. The fans at Newark, the fans have been split like 60-40 Devils, so it's not even home ice advantage. And the Rangers have just been kicking the shit out of them. Last night, I think the final score is 5-1. Patrick Kane playing playoff hockey for the first time in a while. What's up, Showtime?
Forced out by Kane. Kane chasing after it with Kreider. Kane moving in. Backhand shot. He scored!
Oh, no, it froze.
He scored!
Come on, Twitter. Do it. There we go. Up.
Backhand shot.
Whatever. Twitter froze. You can watch on YouTube.com or on Spotify. More ass kickings last night. Look at this. The Lightning and the Maple Leafs have been in 2. I think they've been 7-2. Toronto won last night, and the first game was 7-3. Tampa. Just a bunch of leaky goalies, a bunch of hardos, just weird. Just ass kickings all over the place, which is boring. The best series so far in terms of games have been Kings and Oilers. Have been 2 1-goal games, I believe. Just really good. That one's been good. The rest of them have not been close. The NBA playoffs are kind of similar. The Suns they didn't even. It was 1-1. They took a 2-1 lead in that series. I think it's moved to LA now, right? The Suns lead the series 2-1. Today, Celtics and Hawks. That series goes to Atlanta. That'll be a quick. The Celtics and the Sixers were always going to sweep. The Hawks and the Nets have no business in the playoffs. The Heat at least have Jimmy Butler. Cavs and Knicks for Game 3 today at 8:30 p.m. on Friday night in New York. Nuggets, Timberwolves in the series no one's paying attention to. We've got playoff basketball in the afternoon. Sixers and Nets, of course. Philly and Brooklyn, they'll watch that game in the middle of the day. And for playoff hockey, is there anything interesting? So the Bruins are the one to pay attention to. Apparently, Patrice Bergeron, top 3 to 7 player in the planet on any given day. He is injured, and they have had 2 of their worst games of the year in back-to-back. I told you, I have not been more sure of anything than the Bruins will not be winning the Stanley Cup. They're just not going to win the Stanley Cup. The Hurricanes keep losing their best players. They're out 3 of their top 5 players now for like significant time, one of which is for the season with a torn ACL, I think. And they are up 2-0 on the Islanders. Controversial call in Game 2, Game 3. That's tonight. Dallas and Minnesota. And then late night, if you are out drinking and want to watch some playoff sports on the East Coast, 10 p.m. start to Kings and Oilers. I think the Lakers and the Kings are making a run. We've got the Celtics and the Bruins making a run. The Panthers and the Heat are in, but that doesn't count. I got Islanders, Knicks, Rangers, Devils, and Nets are all in the playoffs. What a time in New York. The Avs and the Nuggets both have a chance to win the championship, which is fun. A lot of cities with multiple things going on, which is cool. So that's exciting. Got some other stuff happening yesterday that's really fun for everybody. The big story, of course, and we were going to report on just how bad things have gotten for Controversial Wednesday, just how bad things have gotten in Oakland. We didn't because my cat died, if you haven't heard, and I didn't want to do a show on Wednesday because my cat died. But like there were, was it a possum or a raccoon or a rat or something just shitting in the opposing team's media box, and so they had to call a game from like a different place because it was just disgusting in there. Well, it's finally happened. The Oakland A's have announced that they will be moving the franchise to Vegas. It's done, apparently. So people are kind of sharing, they're sharing all of their favorite A's memories, but it's just a terrible baseball organization. They don't want to be there. Oakland is too expensive. People don't go. They suck. The owners don't want to spend money. It's crazy. I mean, so in the last 3 years, Oakland has lost their basketball team. They moved to San Francisco. It's Golden State. They've lost their football team, has moved to Vegas. Now they lost their baseball team, which is moving to Vegas. The A's have signed a binding agreement to purchase land for a future ballpark in Las Vegas. We realize this is a difficult day for our Oakland fans and community. For more than 20 years, the A's have focused on securing a new home for the club and have invested unprecedented time and resources for the past 6 years to build a ballpark in Oakland, even with the support from fans, leaders at the city, county, and state level. And throughout the broader community, the process to build a ballpark in Oakland has made little forward progress. For some time, we have made a strong and sincere effort to stay here. We recognize that this is very hard to hear. We are disappointed that have been unable to achieve our shared vision of a waterfront ballpark. Listen, I mean, this is the thing. It's such an easy thing to do to win political points and be like, billionaires should build their own stadiums. Sure, yeah, theoretically. They're not fucking going to. Never. They are never going to. Never. Never, ever, never. Why? Because Vegas would like a baseball team, and Oklahoma City would like a football team, and San Antonio would like a football team, and Nashville would like a baseball team. It's never going to happen. So in cities like Northern California, where there's a strong liberal and left-wing kind of political apparatus, and they're like, we're going to charge taxes. We're going to do all this stuff. These billionaires like, fine, bye. The people should get to decide what they want to pay their taxes on. And when the leadership is like, we're going to take a stand against the billionaires like, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to pay your taxes. I'm not going to put a baseball park here because the fans like it. This is a business, and at the end of the day, I don't want to deal with your shit. And I have the money, and you don't, and that's the end of the conversation. I don't know what to tell you. Like the Buffalo Bills, the community of Buffalo largely was very much like, yep, I would love to pay taxes to have the Bills here. Please don't let them leave. And so the taxpayers are like, yeah, we will pay for the stadium. Sure, fuck it. And the billionaires like, good. That's what I thought. That's how it goes. They're not going to. They're never going to. Never, ever, never, ever, 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 never, ever. It's happening in Tampa too right now. The city shouldn't pay for the Rays. Like, okay, well, they're going to leave. They're going to Nashville. They're going to Charlotte. It is what it is. Brady, Quinn, and Ryan Clark got into a fight on Twitter yesterday. There was something about scouting Stetson Bennett, and there are racial overtones. So Brady Quinn is really starting to drift into the right-wing crazy person shit, and he really likes white quarterbacks a lot more than black quarterbacks, it would appear. Whether or not he likes them more because they're better quarterbacks or not. So we're talking about Stetson Bennett, who's like 35 years old and like 3 feet tall. I'm hoping you did your homework on my comments about Stetson. Stetson Bennett this year. Still waiting on your call, on your cell, bub. He called Ryan Clark bub. Ryan Clark responds, following me and I'll send it now. Just followed you to send it. And I ain't your bub, bruh. So we should be real clear about our tones before we speak. Followed, bruh. Let's get real serious over Twitter. Brady Quinn is an enormous douchebag. Ryan Clark is super annoying, for sure, but Brady Quinn has just become an enormous douchebag. Just a douche canoe. Ryan Clark is also annoying. And also, it's funny because Brady Quinn, he's just, he cracks me up because he's really privileged as a guy, and like historically speaking, the Notre Dame thing, and they probably should have won the Bush game, but he kind of fucked that up himself. And then he went to the pros and had a garbage career, and it ended in the worst way possible. And you could tell by just how aggressively he speaks on TV and like his tone and stuff, how bitter he is about it. And he's talked about it before. I mean, it like ruined his career. It kind of, I don't want to say it ruined his life, but it certainly ruined his professional life, and now he's just annoying. Was that he was the backup quarterback to Kyle Orton when Tim Tebow was the third string quarterback, and he got skipped over. And he can't mentally get over it. And then Ryan Clark is just trying to be relevant because the ESPN guys know they'll get fired after a while because just a bunch of former athletes go there and they're just never good at being on TV. And he is one of those. So it's just a bunch of guys, two guys on Twitter trying to stay relevant. Big, the most important news by far in the sports world over the last 24 hours has been that Elon Musk made good on his threat to take away blue checks. And it is impacting all of the people that you thought, like, oh, are these people going to lose their blue check? Yeah, they all did. They all did. Now, if you see a blue check mark on Twitter, it is very much a sign of like douche. Like, oh, you want to be relevant in sports? Like all of your big accounts, all of them. Some organizations are requiring their guys to pay for it because they should be verified because there's a bunch of fake accounts. But most of them are not paying for it, which is so good. I really appreciate that. Get you out of here on this. Matt Patricia made some homophobic and kind of sexist comments about the way Darius Slay played football. And Darius Slay hates him publicly. Yesterday, the Eagles announced that Matt Patricia would be a defensive special coach for the Eagles, which is the side of the football that Darius Slay plays, which is hilarious because Slay hates him. They announced it, then it leaked, and it was on the internet, and then the Eagles took it off their site, and then they made it official, and we have no word from Slay as far as I know. I cannot wait. Oh my God. I love when the Eagles do dramatic shit. They cannot help themselves.